Amit, if you haven't gone through recording, I wanted you to go to the yesterday's recording. Okay, because in yesterday recording, we were covering the most important part of the demo. In yesterday recording, we are covering the most important part of the demo. Okay? Yes. Now, let me explain you what we have did in yesterday recap. One second. I hope everyone is able to see. So yesterday, first thing we were taking in what we are discussing, what is data. And we discussed what is data analysis, followed by that, how you prepare or how you do analysis, entire life cycle of analysis in real time, means in your organization. Then we also understood why you have to choose data analysis. Why to choose data analysis. Next, you have modules. Next, you have modules. How many modules I am covering and what is the definition of each module. And at the same time, what is the multiple job opportunities you can go and apply once you master this course. Once you master this course. Then class timings. I just repeat, the class timings would be your 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. We are going to merge this batch to 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. And class duration, as I already said, it will take 2.5 months to 3 months maximum. Then, what are the advantages for why you have to join our course? Advantages to join this course. Then entire learning process flow, like how do we start off our program with classes, followed by that assignments, projects, and then your what you called. Guys, let me take a sip of water just a minute. Yeah. So, so first we started with assignments. I mean theory, followed by the theory, then projects, and then your resume building, interview sessions, mock interview, and placement assistance. And then we have did a conclusion yesterday. We did a conclusion yesterday. So this is what we discussed in yesterday's session. These are the points, key points we discussed in yesterday's session. So I know, Amit, you didn't attend it. I wanted you go through the recording, especially focus on these 3 points because this is related to the subject, which will go up to 40 to 45 minutes. And after that, you can go through all of this in the recording. And apart from Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya, any doubts? Any doubts on yesterday's session? Kriti, Sampath, Soumya, any doubts on yesterday's session? Can we continue today's class? No doubts for Soumya. Others? Kriti, Sampath. Okay. Yes means you have no doubts, right, Sampath? Yeah. Okay. So what I said today, I am going to discuss your syllabus agenda. It quite looks boring, but it is important, right? So we are going to discuss this, and along with that, Power BI components, we will be looking into it. Power BI components. So today this is something we are going to do. So let me open a agenda syllabus syllabus, and I'll tell you what are we going to do in upcoming sessions. Okay. Just a moment. Let me open. Okay. As I said, we are going to start off with our Excel, right? We are going to start off with our Excel. So let me cover Excel syllabus first. Okay. Let me cover Excel syllabus first. So, guys, you all know the difference between basic and your advanced. Basic and your advanced, right? So, what is basic? For example, in real time, you have some problem. Like generally, you have some problem. Generally, you have some problem, and to that particular problem, there would be two different solutions. One can be your permanent solution. One can be your permanent solution, and another can be your temporary solution. For every problem, there would be a temporary solution and permanent solution. Correct. So, temporary means in future, again, if that problem occurs, again, you have to deal with it. Permanent means you don't have to deal with it one time. So, that is how we are going to, in Excel especially, we are going to give you some case studies. In that particular case studies, you have both levels. One is temporary solution, another one is permanent solution. So the temporary solution is known as your basic level and permanent solution is known as your advanced level. In and you have another word called static and dynamic. Static method and dynamic. So always your static method will give you one time solution and static method looks basics also looks very easy where you have to deal with shortcut keys or maybe understanding the function of Excel. That's all. You don't get into formulas or you don't get into power pivot, something like that. Not at an advanced level. Any nested we look up, no, all these are a little bit time taking to do, but it's a permanent solution and a dynamic answers. So first initial 1 week we are going to deal with the basic, that is your static things. Like maybe if your manager is asking you to give one time solution, you go with this static level basics, and then we are getting into advanced, which is known as a dynamic level. Okay. Okay, am I clear so far? Now, let's say every trainer will say, no, we are starting with basic to advanced. First of all, understand the difference. Basic is something, a solution which will be given for one time, and advanced is something you're going to get a dynamic solution all the time. Okay, so first we are going to start. We will be introducing you Excel. In Excel, we will be discussing you what are the versions are there, what is row, what is column, what is cell, what is the intersection of row and column, shortcut keys, navigation, and data entry, which is known as your fill series, flash fill, find and select, clear option, control enter, all this copy paste special. No, all this comes under your basic levels and one time solution. Okay, this is what we are going to explain. And then you can see here also you have something basics only, data handling. Like control T, formatting table, remove duplicate, sort, filter, advanced filter. All this comes under your basics. Okay, basics. Then after that, we will be slowly introducing you something called mathematical calculations with cell referencing. What it is? Cell referencing. In cell referencing, you have absolute relative mixed. You have absolute relative mixed, which is most important. Can you see here? I was teaching at the evening session. These are your absolute relative mixed. Okay, these three references. So what I say, this is the main part of the This is the main part of the Excel. If you don't understand the difference between absolute, relative, mixed, and why they are useful, and how in what scenario you are supposed to use it, if you are not understanding, you will not understand the entire Excel. I mean, basics you can do without this, but advanced level you can't do it. Means formulas you can't do it. When you are not able to do formulas, then it's of no use of Excel. So first, as soon as we complete basics, we'll get into this. So our course is very much structured manner we have built. What thing to be taught first, we are going to teach you first. And after this, once you understand this, then we are going with your arithmetic functions like sum ifs, dsum, count ifs, and so on. Then we are going with your logical functions, which is known as if, and, or, nested ifs, if error, and so on. Okay, so first goes your arithmetical functions, logical functions, and then your lookup functions. Can you see? You have multiple lookups here. Lookup, VLOOKUP, nested VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index with match, offset, and so on. Right? You see, guys, it's not, see, with the lookup, there are different kinds of lookup. It's not only I'm going to explain different kinds of lookup with one formula. Let's say VLOOKUP. What all combination I can perform? What all combination I can perform? For example, I'll go here and I'll try to open any Excel sheet and I'll show you. Maybe this belongs to lookup only. I'll show you. See, the most popular function, VLOOKUP, you guys can have a look here. So, okay, VLOOKUP. In this only, how many examples I'm showing? Match function, okay? First, I'll explain you what is match function. How can you do it for headers? Then your VLOOKUP basic. VLOOKUP with match. Then again VLOOKUP with trim, match, if error. Another combination. Nested VLOOKUP. How do you pull data from multiple tables? How do you pull data from multiple tables? Then there is a condition that you cannot pull data from your leftmost column. Okay, that condition we look up with wildcard characters like this. How many examples? 5 to 6 examples. And again, can you see the second page? I'm giving you a large data set where you can go and perform the homework. And see, no, along with homework, I'm also giving you what is VLOOKUP definition, why it is used, what is the syntax, whether even it is a case sensitive or not. Each minute details are also I'm putting into it. Means whenever you're learning one formula, you are learning in depth. It's not okay, VLOOKUP is this and I'm done. No, with the VLOOKUP, what all you can do? We can use VLOOKUP with if error, trim, match, count if, wildcard characters, many things. Okay, like that, we are also telling you what is the disadvantage of it. But when we are saying disadvantage, right? We are saying we cannot pull data from left side of data. Then what? Then how can you replace? What is the solution? So the solution here is we use index match in place of VLOOKUP. So we are telling disadvantage. To cover that disadvantage, what is the advantages next? That is also we are covering. Then comes your VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP with tricks. This is also homework. How the data is like this? How can you put entire thing in this manner? And nested VLOOKUP. How can you make pull data from this four tables into one table? So like this also we are going to teach you multiple examples on one formula. Multiple examples on one formula and good number of homeworks assignments you're getting. Okay. Yes. Now let me go back to syllabus. So that's about your lookups and means how I'm going to teach you the examples. Now you can see advanced functions, um, logical, combined arithmetic, data validation, some advanced functions. Then we are also covering date function, text functions. Can you see in date, like data diff, year month, date, basics, like even few are not covered here, but yes, week, day, week number, all those formulas we are teaching. And again, in text functions also we are teaching upper, left, proper, search, find, concatenate, which is not kept here, but I'm teaching it. Concatenate, substitute, trim, All this I'm gonna cover in your text functions, how to clean your data. Okay, this is something I have already covered. Then coming to visualization, all these are visualizations like which chart you are using: combo chart, Gantt chart, waterfall chart, pie chart, bar chart, column chart, line chart, all those things. Then your data summarization, like what is pivot reports, slicers, calculated field, calculated items, pivot charts, all this. Then you have your data summarizations, like how can you create your dashboards, charts, sheets using your slicers. Like, we plan a dashboard and when we do it, a dashboard. Okay. Finally, your three things, which is known as Power Query, Pivot, Power Pivot within Excel. Like how do you pull data from multiple data sources? How do you clean it? How do you load it? How do you perform your dashboard? Using your Power Query, Pivot and Power Pivot. So this is about your Excel. I was a little bit quick because we have to cover so many things. Any doubts? Felt like something is not covered? Any doubts so far? Are we good with Excel? Amit, Sampath, Soumya. Are we good with Excel? Amit, Sampath, Soumya. Any doubts? Say yes or no so that I'll continue further. Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. No doubts? Can I assume no? No one is responding. Am I audible or not? I'll get a doubts like this because we are not responding. Yes, continue. No for me. Yeah, one line will helpful for me. Okay, next, before we just take a walkthrough of SQL, let me start off Power BI and then we'll go with SQL. So guys, Power BI, no, we have SQL next, but I'll talk this later. Power BI, no, if I go and take a walkthrough just like this, you'll not understand. So that is why I have a plan for you guys. I wanted to teach you components of it, and then we are starting with it. Okay. Now tell me, yesterday we were discussing a life cycle of data analysis, means how do we perform data analysis. So there are few steps involved into that, like 1 to 6 steps. Can I know what are they? How many of you remember steps? I was telling, right, from where you pull data, how do you pull data, how do you clean data, how do you prepare your report? So I was teaching few steps. If you guys have focused and remember, can I know what are those points? What are those points? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. What are those points? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. We don't remember. Can I give a hint of first step so that you'll go and tell second step? Am I saying collection of data? Do we remember this? Do we remember this? What is the second step? Kriti. Sorry, Amit, I took your name. You didn't listen. I'm sorry. Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. Do we remember first I was saying collection of data followed by that? What else? Guys, you're not remembering yesterday session only. Anyone still wanted to continue? Transformation of data. Transformation of data. Yes, cleaning. After that, what did I say? Thanks, Amit. Kriti is saying transformation of data. After transformation of data, what was it? So, what were the points you remember? If you remember fourth point, also fine. Fifth point, also fine. Sixth point, also fine. Very good. Soumya is saying data modeling. After that, what it is? Whatever the points you remember, I'll go and put it there. Yes, Soumya. Data modeling, then what? Kriti answered. Sampath, can you also answer? Analyzing beautifully. It means you're remembering things. Analyzing. Very good. Analyzing. Then Kriti saying visualization. Good. That's a good thing. Then finally, what it is? Sampath, you didn't attend yesterday's session. I believe you attended, right? Maybe you attended late or you don't remember. No problem. Sampath, go ahead and watch that demo, at least putting 1.5 speed and listen because it's an important demo, right? Where you can do a decision making. That's okay. Then finally, what do we do, guys? We prepare a visual reports at visualization stage, and finally, what do we do? We will be publishing it. Okay, in one line, I would explain this, but yesterday I have taken some 20 minutes on this topic only. So the first step is collecting in order to build the so I said, right, there is some BRD the business is asking. In order to meet the business requirements, we are collecting data from multiple tables. Collecting right data and right amount of data is nothing but collection of data. Second, we are going to transform data. That is nothing but you're trying to clean the data. You're trying to clean the data. Means in real time, you have a lot of null values, errors, duplicates, so many things you will be having where you have to trim extra spaces and multiple things. So that is what we are going to do a cleaning in a transformation of data. So once you do like in first step what we were doing, we are getting data from three different tables. Yesterday I have given this example. When you're trying to get data from three different tables, when you're connecting a relationship between these multiple tables, you're trying to connect a relationship between these multiple tables is nothing but your data modeling, making a relationship between tables. And later on, you're answering solutions to the business. That is known as analyzing. For example, in region wise sales, you're saying south is 25 percentage, north is 25 percentage, east is 35 percentage, west is 15 percentage. When you're giving answer, that is nothing but you're analyzing. And whatever output you got and you're trying to put in a visual, in a pictorial representation is known as your visualization. Finally, at this level, you build a dashboard or report multiple charts, which will have multiple charts like pie chart, donor chart, waterfall chart, where you create a dashboard and you're going to share it to end user. That is nothing but your publishing. Sharing it to your end user, that is nothing but publishing. So what is data analysis, guys? Collecting a raw data, cleaning and building a model, giving answer to the business problems and putting them in a pictorial representation, and finally sharing it to your end user. Correct. Am I clear so far? Amit, I was a little bit faster because I covered this. At least you got one line, one idea on this point, Amit. Everyone try to be interactive. Amit, Kriti, Sampath. Sampath, you said you're blank. You are able to understand now, Sampath? Okay, good. So now what I'll do, I'll go and take Power BI components. What I'm doing here is I'm taking up Power BI components. The first component we have here is, okay, the first component, let me put this here. The first component we have here is Power Query. And second component we have here is Power Pivot. And third component we have here is Power View. and then here Power BI services. So, first of all, I wanted to say we are going to deal with two interface. Two interface. One is your Power BI desktop. Okay. And another one is your Power BI services. We are going to deal with this two interfaces. One is your Power BI desktop and another one is your Power BI services. Okay. Now, these three things, from Power Query to Power View, these three things are the components of Power BI desktop. Okay, these three things are the components of Power BI desktop. Then you have a Power BI services, which is a cloud services, which is useful for publishing and sharing purpose. Okay, so now let me explain you. First thing here, Power Query. Why do we use a Power Query here is, okay, why do we use a Power Query here is, basically, which is known as your ETL tool. Power Query is known as a ETL tool, which means which will help for extract, transform, and load. Extract, transform, and load, which is useful for ETL. Okay, and here it is going to write a language called M query language, M language. So, why do we use Power Query is for collecting the data at the same time for cleaning the data to perform your transformation. Why do we use Power Query? For collecting the data and also for cleaning the data. These two things you can do within Power Query. And the full form of it is extract, transform, load. And we are going to use a language called M language. Then you have Power Pivot, which is useful to perform modeling. Means building a relationship between multiple um, tables. At the same time, it is going to use DAX. DAX is nothing but data analysis. DAX is nothing but data analysis expression. Data analysis expression. Okay. Data analysis expression, which is important to solve the business problems, which means in Power Pivot, it will help you to build a model. At the same time, it will help you to analyze the output, which will help you to build a model and analyze the output to the business requirement. So at this level, we are going to perform this two steps. And then you have Power View, which will represent your output in pictorial representation. Means you can see output in the form of charts and graphs. Okay, so here this is basically important for your visualization purpose. It is basically important for your visualization purpose. Then finally, you have your Power BI services, which is helpful for sharing your output, your requirement to end user. And even it will assist you how can you actually work on a same project between multiple people, like across your colleagues. So this is nothing but you're going to do in publishing stage. So that's how I have connected these steps to different Power BI components. That's how we start our data with collecting data using first 1 or 2 weeks we will be on Power Query, how to clean the data, and followed by that you are getting into Power BI services. Am I clear? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya, everyone. Am I clear? Any doubts on these particular points? Amit is clear. Soumya is clear. That's all. Only two people are clear. Sampath also clear. Kriti also clear. Then that's good. Okay. Now let's get into agenda, syllabus. Because if I directly take a walkthrough of syllabus, you'll not understand. It is at least Excel, we know something in our life. But Power BI is new, right? We don't understand anything. So that is why I divided it into parts and I'm going to explain you the syllabus. Okay. Going back there. Now see, we start with a basic introduction and installation till here and understanding bit difference between desktop and Power Query. And then we will get into Power Query. See here, like loading data from folder, understanding Power Query in details. And in Power Query, we are going to learn something like this, manage parameters, introduction to filters. Again, you have something called append queries. Something here it is not written, but we are going to cover append queries, merge queries. We are also going to cover your consolidate, multiple things. Multiple things like if conditions, custom column, conditional column, invoke custom column, parameters, functions, invoke function, multiple, like how do you get data from web scraping, everything we are going to cover in Power Query. Though it is not written very much in detail here. So I was telling you verbally. Okay, even your split to delimiter, see, you can see add columns, append merge. How do you promote headers and multiple things we are going to cover in Power Query. Okay, then comes here next your either visualization or whatever it is. So see, under visualization, we are going to cover all of this much, like, it's not a basic visuals we are covering, but we are also going to cover custom visuals like map visuals, AI analysis in Power BI using chat, Q&A chatbot. You're trying to understand scatter plot, play access, sample dashboard, default chats, conditional formatting, how do you do in visualization, everything we are going to cover in visuals. Many things, combo chart, and again there is something called, let me show you. In Power BI, I have 6 o'clock batch here. Um, so yes, see, here I have made my x-axis dynamic. X-axis dynamic. See, when I click on country, it is showing country-wise profit. When I click on discount band, it is showing profit by discount band. When I click on month name, it is showing profit by month name. When I click on product, it is showing profit by product. So how do you get this? It's not that you drag and drop. We perform some procedures, and this is something experienced candidates can only do it. At least 3 to 4 years of experience knowledge, if we have, we will be able to make it out. So that is how we are going to build profit by segment, profit by everything. Then at the same time, you have dynamic XY axis. So here, only within this space, I'm able to see 5 charts. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts. In the same way, in Power BI, we used another concept called parameter concepts, and we did x-axis and y-axis. Means dynamic x-axis, dynamic y-axis. For example, I wanted to see country with the help of total COGS, total profit, total sales, total units sold. Okay. Maybe I also wanted to see by month name, by discount band, by product, by segment. Again, I'll start with total COGS, profit, sales, and all. It means simply, guys, here I have 5 dimensions. How many dimensions I have? 5 dimensions. And here how many measures I have? 4 measures. So 5 into 4 overall 20 charts I'm able to see within this space. So this is something your advanced level and advanced custom charts we are seeing it. Okay. All this covers under your visualization only. You can just see it's already ongoing sessions at evening batch. So if you can see here, we are just done with lot many visuals. Like, can you see? We are still in progress, and we will be discussing about why do we use it, and what is necessary to go for this chat and everything. And there is a 10 a.m. batch as well. It also, we already started DAX here. You guys can see here also. So here though I have added a buttons as well. So where I can go and switch on it. I'll get whatever the charts I want. Okay. So lot many days we will be working on visualization as well. Okay. After the visualization, then your modeling. Modeling will take exactly 1.5 hours. Maybe your 2 day session, we will be covering modeling. Like how do you build a model between multiple tables along with what is different types of data cardinalities. We have 4 different kinds of cardinalities. What is the filter direction? When should you use your filter direction? When should you use your um single filter or both filter, that kind of things we are going to explain. Then you have your, that is done. Then we are getting into DAX. Here, I have just written like this. If you wanted to see, guys, you can see here as well. 1 second. So like this, we are going to learn column measures, tables, and quick measures. And under this, these are the DAX we are going to cover. Like aggregation DAX, text DAX, time intelligence DAX, date and time, filter lookup, logical DAX, and table DAX. Each part might have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 measures. Okay, so like that, it might go up to 100 measures, 100 plus measures, it might go. 50 to 100 measures, it can go. Till 100, it will go, definitely. So like that, we are going to cover DAX. It means you're getting advanced DAX. In depth, I'm covering, right? So that's how we are learning DAX. Means DAX is for the analyzing level. Then your Power BI services, like how do you publish, how do you do, like, how do you use your schedule refresh? How do you create applications? How do you build workspaces? How do you work on Power BI services? We are going to do this. Clear on this? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. Very good. So finally, we'll get into SQL. As I said in yesterday's session, even you can go and apply as a SQL developer. Right. So that is why we are not only covering basics, but we are really covering at advanced level SQL. Okay. See. We are covering introduction to MySQL, like what is database, what is RDBMS, normalization, different types of RDBMS, software installation, like we install MySQL Workbench and command lines, and we are also installing DDL, DML, TQL, sorry, we are also learning this multiple commands. Under DDL, what all commands do we have? Under DML, what all commands do we have? So basically, tomorrow I'm going to cover this topic commands. So what will happen? You will understand how ma'am is teaching SQL also. Today we discussed about Power BI components, right? Tomorrow we'll discuss about SQL. Okay, and day after we'll discuss about Excel. Like that, we'll do something new every day so that you will understand when ma'am is teaching theory, how she's teaching. And I'll take one practicals on day after tomorrow. Maybe I'll use Excel because so far we didn't open Excel sheet. How I'm teaching you Excel. Like that, multiple things we can do. SQL, if needed, I can install in your systems. Something new we will be doing. And then I'll give you 2 more days if possible. I'll have to check with admin. Maybe tomorrow is the last day or Friday is the last day. I'll let you know. But tomorrow is there. Free session. Only we might go with SQL commands and we can wind up. Okay, let's check. Let's check with admin. How many days you're having a free session eligibility. And then you have wildcard characters, in operator, not in operator, all this. How do you handle these handlings and your group and aggregation functions, which is talking about sum, average, min, max. Then your constraints, we all know constraints means limitations. Then you have joins, the most important part of SQL, inner, left, cross, and write all kind of joins. See, under DDL, what all is covering. Tomorrow I'm going to discuss this, okay? Because entire SQL journey will have these commands. So guys, till here, no? Till here, we call it as a not basics but important points to become a data analyst. But again, from here, like your indexes, views, stored procedures, functions, constraints, like window functions, lead, lag, dense rank, union, all this, even your triggers, they all are your advanced level. For development purpose, we have to learn from here. Okay. Any doubts so far on Power BI, SQL, and Excel? Any doubts? Any doubts? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. Very good. And likewise, Python also there. We are covering even Python and little bit of Chat GPT also. Like, at least one or two dashboard if we create using Chat GPT, but it is not a part of the course. Python, we are going to cover all this, like, how do you install Anaconda, Python, the data types like list, tuple, strings, dictionaries, data structures. Inside into it, what formulas like, lin, min, maximum, reverse sorting, addition, all those things, and your sets, then your loops functions, lambda functions, max calendar modular functions, then your numpys, pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, which is your libraries. No, pandas are used for text kind of data, numpys for numbers, matplotlib, seaborn, plotlib, all these are used for your visualization purpose. How do you build chats in your um, Python, Jupyter Notes? We use univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. How can we perform analysis and all? We are going to discuss in a Python. Okay, clear? Any doubts? Amit, Kriti, Sampath, Soumya. So that's all from my side for today. As I promised yesterday, this is today, and tomorrow is also their free session. Tomorrow topic would be your SQL commands. SQL commands. And along with this, I'll be also talking about SQL, how the backend mechanism look like. Okay, how the backend mechanism, simply we can call it as an architecture. Okay, SQL backend mechanism we are going to learn. So these two concepts we are going to cover in tomorrow's session. Okay, this is tomorrow's topic. So you have 5 minutes. Even if you take 10 minutes, I don't mind. Any doubts, please go ahead and ask. Any doubts, please go ahead and ask. Yeah, any doubts? Amit, Sampath, Soumya. No doubts? Amit, Sampath, Soumya. Are we good? Clear. Nothing from my end. Sampath is saying. Amit is saying no doubts. Okay, no problem, Sampath. That's fine. So, Soumya, if you also say you have no doubts for the day, we'll wind up the session and we'll connect tomorrow. Okay, Soumya? You are also done, Soumya? Yes, yes, Amit. Look into yesterday's demo, you will understand. We are giving placement assistance as well. Anything else, guys? Are we good? Okay, Amit, you are left. Can I wind up for the day, Amit? Then if you are done with the doubts. Okay, thank you.